Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. So imagine yourself walking down the hall of a corporate office building going to see a colleague. And you peer around the corner and look into the glass door and you see that that colleague is visiting with another individual. Obviously you look inside and realize you don't want to interrupt, but as you stand, you notice that there's lots of animation, lots of body language, lots of facial expressions. You can't hear the words, but you instantly move to, it's probably not a good time. Those emotional gestures, you don't know what's going on, but you can obviously see with the importance of the body language. Body language is a critical part of our communication every day. When we step back and think about it, there's statistics anywhere from 60 to 93% of our communication is body language, depending on what you're looking at. So when we think about body language, obviously we're taught many times to think about, how do we approach someone, the physical space, the handshake, the eye contact, those types of things, which are very, very important. And many times we put ourselves in the observer's position where we're observing others. But today I want you to step back and think about you. Think about your body language and how do you come across. We think about body language in our world today. There's lots of things. When you look at some of the positions, think about athletes or anyone who is running across the finish line. Many times you see the arms in the air, the V, the victory. Even if somebody has never done that or if they've never been taught that, that's just kind of a natural state of pride. There's people who are obviously very open and large with their body language, and some who shrivel up and come into a little bit more of a timid position. So we really want to step back today and really think about, what does body language mean for you and how are you being observed? Because sometimes when we think about ourselves, we want to think about how we're showing up. When you look at different situations, meetings that you walk into, when you put yourself in the state of a meeting, many times it's great to just start the meeting with a casual conversation, especially if it's someone that you're not aware of, because you don't really maybe know their body language. So before you jump into an intense conversation or a conversation about something you're going to implement with a new business partner, it's first best to start with a casual conversation. That way you can kind of get to know everybody's natural body language and then get into the content a little bit more and go into when we get emotional or when we get uptight. But you really need to think about, when you approach that meeting, what's your body language? Are you open and confident? When you think about people sitting in different positions at meetings, some people put their arm up around another chair and put their hands behind their head. They're very open. And that's when you think about, how can I be when I'm at that meeting? Do I want to be open, or do I go and I sit very timid because I'm not certain? So, when you stand there and you touch your head or touch your ear or touch your neck, those are all indications of insecurity or uncertainty. So really step back and observe that. Another thing to think about is our tapping of our pens or the tapping of our feet, those types of little motions that we may make that may be distracting to others as well. So sometimes when we're not in tune to that because it's a habit, I want you to think about what the effect that has on people when we think about our presence in a meeting. Now, some people say, does this presence about us have to do with our personality? Well, there is some correlation to that. Sometimes people wonder, well, are males naturally more confident than females? There are some studies around that. There was a study in a university where confident NBA students, males have a tendency to be aggressive in raising their hands, where females are a little bit more timid in raising their hands. So anyway, there's those types of things, but there is a lot to do with your personality in terms of your confidence. But these are types of things that it's more about your awareness. So yes, we need to think about our personalities and who we are, and some of us are just naturally more confident and have more presence. There's lots of reasons for that, but really it's stopping to step back and just being aware. So when you show up, what are you showing up about? It's not just the content. If you're, have great content, but you're very timid and slouched over, people aren't going to hear that content because your behavior, your body language is a little bit distracting to that. So I really want you to kind of, use the term, fake it till you make it, is really, your stuff. A lot of you are very good experts at many things, but you really need to be present and be aware of that body language. Because when we really think about it, bodies change minds. So our body language changes our mind. If we're confident and holding ourselves in great regard and feel good about ourselves, then guess what? Our mind is going to be sharp. Our mind is going to be showing up. So body changes minds, mind changes behaviors, and guess what? Behaviors changes outcomes. So when we think about that, is you really say, how important is this? Well, there's lots of linkage between behaviors and outcomes. And if we're confident about ourselves and we're showing up and we're being present and being aware, and if you have to go into the bathroom or go into your office and kind of give yourself a confidence boost, that's okay. That's very much okay. Whatever it takes, but you have to really be in tune to that behavior. So for positive charge this week, I want you to think about what is your body language. How are you showing up? And 2, get some feedback from someone you work with. If you have somebody you work with consistently or partner with or travel with and you're in meetings together, ask them about your body language so they can tell you, because again, sometimes it could be anything from that tapping to, the touching of your head or your face, or it could even be, your tilting of your head, those kinds of things. Eye contact is another important one. So really think about what that means to you. So no matter what role we're playing and what we're doing, it's very important to have great body language to really connect with people, to make a difference, and to think about those higher levels of success. Thank you for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.